All right, so to me, this is the first real math question that we have on this PSAT. The first one where you gotta actually know some topics. And many of you in 8th and 9th grade have never even seen a question like this, so where you have an x squared in an equation. So that can be scary. My advice for the PSAT is just put things in the Desmos calculator. Remember, every math question gives you access to the built-in graphing calculator Desmos. And for now, what you can do with it is just type in an equation where that only has one variable, which is what this is, right? It's only x's. And we're going to see that instead of giving us a curve, which I'll pause and I'll show you the curve, minus 32. Right, so here's a curve. You can see that it kind of comes together in curves. But if I just continue typing what I see and have that equals 0, it turns the curve into two vertical lines. Basically, the Desmos graphing calculator is an equation solver. If they ask for the solutions, if they ask for the values of x, just put what they give you in, and you're going to get vertical lines. And where those vertical lines touch the x-axis, that's going to be the solutions. So that's also where they touch every point, right? So if I go up here, see, there you go, right? That's 4 no matter what is the value of x. So it doesn't matter the y. It's only x's, so we only care about the x anyway. But it's easiest to find the x coordinates when they are on the y-axis, or on the x-axis at the when they're intercept. So you can just touch them usually. So we have two answers here, negative 1.143, which is some messy number, and 4. And so what is the positive solution? It's just 4. So that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to solve anything. You just put it into Desmos and it solves itself. Now, to be clear, if Desmos changes in some way, I bet it would take away this ability. So all you'd have to do in that case is drop the 0, because what we want is where these things are equal to 0 is kind of like where the y is equal to 0, which is where the x-intercepts are. So if you've never worked with parabolas before, that's what this is. This is a quadratic equation, produces a parabola, which is a curve, a u basically, in the xy plane. And we really love to find the x-intercepts of these parabolas because it's just a very convenient thing to find algebraically. So without algebra, though, we can see that they are just x-intercepts where we touch the x-axis. And unsurprisingly, it's exactly the same numbers that we just had a second ago at 4 and negative 1.143. So if you needed that, that's still the way to do it, is graphically. Just you always have to get it equal to 0, but then you would, if you wanted to see it as a parabola, you would just get rid of the equals, and then you would be able to look at those x-intercepts. So I do worry that they're going to change Desmos at some point, because having this as an algebra solver is really, really convenient. And it means you don't have to do a lot of algebra. And especially in 8th and 9th grade, when you haven't learned a lot of algebra, that's a pretty good thing. So don't panic. Just go to the calculator, type it in, see what happens.